Oh hey there lads, my name is Lassie and thank you very much for clicking onto a new video from me. Today's video, or in fact today's second video, is a follow-up to earlier on today. Thank you again for so much support on that video. We had like 1,000 views in 50 minutes, which is just insane for this channel. In that video, like I'm sure you've seen, I covered all of the new content coming with tomorrow's Update 7.0 patch for Battlefield 5. Upon releasing that video, I thought it was pretty clear and concise as well, and I thought I covered everything, but of course, community manager Adam Freeman took to Twitter to share plenty of other information that I'm going to cover in this video now. Like I said, this information cannot be found in the patch notes. It was just additional information Freeman tagged on with plenty of other images as well. So let's start with the two new maps, and upon reflection I am considering the second Provence version pretty much a new map after seeing its layout. But let's start with Al Marj Encampment. Up on screen, shared by Freeman on Twitter, we have the map layout for Al Marj Encampment on Conquest, and something that is really interesting here is that from the image you can see there are 4 capturable flags. That's fairly standard, you know, we've seen that sort of thing in Battlefield before. But what Freeman shared is that this map has 2 different versions. The map can feature 4 flags, or sometimes it can feature a 5th flag. Not quite sure why this was done, maybe it's just to add some variation to the playlist, but I'm not against it. I kind of want to see how both versions of this map play against each other. Another weird thing they've done with this map is that on Breakthrough, the final sector is Conquest Assault. Yeah, they're really mix and matching this map. So as Freeman explained, when you're playing Breakthrough, you normally just take the points as normal, but the last point for the defenders turns into Conquest Assault, so they have 2 flags to defend. What's interesting here is that the defenders can only spawn on those 2 flags, so if they lose one flag, they're restricted to the other flag, so they have to protect those 2 flags if they want to have a comeback. According to Freeman, this map plays very similarly to Zeebrugge from Battlefield 1, despite it looking more like Ashi Baba. Up next we have Provence, and it's a map that's been playable in Battlefield 5 since last August, so we're all fairly familiar with it. But like I said, I pretty much consider this a new map, and I'm sure you do too after looking at this layout. See those A, C and B flags right up the top there? That's Provence right now. And the other playable area is huge in comparison to that small town. According to Freeman, just to compare it to other maps that we will be familiar with, it gives off St. Quentin Scar vibes. When playing Breakthrough, it goes from the countryside and progresses through into the town. This is a full-out Battlefield map, and I've seen a lot of comparisons made with previous Battlefield 1 maps in particular, and especially Soissons. Now moving on to other tidbits that weren't mentioned in the patch notes, but I'm sure you lads will be interested in weapon charms. This one in particular, I was actually speaking to people and we were wondering, there was no mention of this and it was so heavily data mined, surely they must be coming, and I'm so happy to announce that they are. Weapon charms are coming with this update. Maybe not on day 1, but further down the line they are, as mentioned by Freeman on Twitter. But what about that trailer, Lassie? Surely that has to release alongside this update. And no, apparently, according to Freeman, they won't be releasing the trailer today or tomorrow or maybe even this week or ever. It depends on how the current climate in the world goes. There's bigger things to focus on right now, and attracting attention to a game in EA and DICE's eyes is not on the priority list. But what about future content? Well, Freeman took to Twitter again to say we're unlikely to add further content after this update. We're intending to still deliver on the promises made by the community games, but in terms of maps, vehicles, weapons and gadgets, we won't have any further content, and that means all those other data mined guns that you've mentioned in earlier today's video's comments section, as well as our beloved Panzerschreck, none of that stuff will be coming to Battlefield 5, so I don't really think we should be asking for it anymore. Yes, it's a pity, but I mean, we do have 10 other guns coming tomorrow, which we can be happy about. And finally, we have a small update on the community games update that will be coming out soon. It will release more control and more flexibility with the community games option and feature, as well as weekly missions that will actually start from what I believe is going to be at the end of this week. I'll keep you lads up to date on that one, but I think it's starting this week. Freeman says on Twitter, as has always been the case with Battlefield games, we're not turning the servers off just because we're delivered the final drop of content. We're still working on expanding community games and still have more ways to play through weekly missions. Community games, I actually made a video very recently, just the other day, detailing what to expect from this future update, control over which maps and modes you'd like to play in a playlist, and maybe even specific modes like Final Stand. Maybe that would become its own standalone mode in its own playlist if the admin wants that. But anyway, thank you for watching. These are a few more little additions. Like I said, I hope you lads enjoyed the video. I'm sorry I couldn't get this all wrapped up in one solid video today, but like I said, this information came out after the patch notes were released. If you enjoyed though, please do leave it a like. I'd really appreciate that, or a dislike if you didn't. And thank you very much for clicking on today's video and earlier on today's video. I really appreciate all of the support on the channel. But until the next one, I'll see you lads later.